Ladies and gentlemen, gather around. Let me tell you about the lonely chapter. In life, we all hit a point where it feels like we're alone, truly alone. No one sees your grind. No one hears your pain. You're just stuck, grinding away in the darkness. But let me tell you, this is not a chapter to run from. No, this is the chapter that will make you or break you. And I promise you, if you face it, if you embrace it, you'll come out on the other side stronger, tougher, and more capable than ever. The moments of solitude, the times when the world seems to shrink away and leave you standing in the dark, are often the most powerful. It's in these moments when no one is watching, when no one is encouraging you, that you'll find out who you truly are. The lonely chapter is not something to be feared or avoided. It is a chapter of personal growth, a time when the distractions fade and you are left alone with yourself. It's a place where you either shrink away, allowing the isolation to break you down, or you rise. You rise in ways you never thought possible. And that's exactly what this chapter is designed to do, to show you what you're made of. During these times, you'll be forced to face yourself, your flaws, your weaknesses, your doubts. The loneliness is loud, but in that deafening silence, you have a choice. It's a choice to keep pushing forward even when you feel no one is there to cheer you on. It's a choice to keep fighting when the path seems long and the finish line invisible. Because that's the truth. The road is tough and the loneliness makes the journey harder, but it also makes it yours. It's the part of the story where you take full responsibility, where you stop waiting for someone to rescue you and realize that the strength to overcome everything lies within. As the struggle intensifies, so does the opportunity for transformation. The pain you endure, the exhaustion, the frustration, it all serves a purpose. It molds you into something stronger. The obstacles are not there to break you. They're there to build you, to test you, to see if you have what it takes to push through and emerge better for it. The moments of weakness and self-doubt are inevitable, but they do not define you. It's what you do next that counts. It's about how you choose to respond in the face of adversity. You can either let the loneliness consume you or use it as fuel to become the best version of yourself. There's no question that this chapter will change you. You will be different by the time you come out of it. But that's the beauty of it. You'll be tougher, more resilient, more capable of facing whatever life throws your way. The loneliness, it becomes the very thing that builds you, that strengthens you, and ultimately that reveals your true power. It's not a chapter to run from, but one to embrace. Because on the other side, you'll find the person you were always meant to be. When you find yourself in a chapter of loneliness, it can feel like the world has turned its back on you. It's a time when no one seems to notice your struggle, when you're left standing alone, fighting your own battles. But let me make one thing clear. This is not a time to feel sorry for yourself. This is a time to lean in. This chapter is where real transformation begins. It's the moment where you stop looking for validation and start finding strength within. This loneliness is not a void, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn who you truly are, to discover the depth of your own resolve. In these moments when no one is watching, no one is applauding your efforts, You have to look inward. It's easy to keep going when you have a crowd behind you, but can you keep moving forward when there's no one else around? Can you summon the willpower to push through when it feels like no one cares? This is the test. This is where the real growth happens. You are going to face moments when the pain feels unbearable, when the isolation is so thick it seems like it's swallowing you whole. But understand this. The pain is not the enemy. The pain is the teacher. It's telling you that you're pushing your limits. It's telling you that you are becoming something more than you were yesterday. It's easy to look for ways to escape pain, to run from discomfort. But those who learn to stay in it, to endure it, will find that they are capable of far more. There's a powerful thing about being in your own corner, having no one to rely on but yourself. It forces you to face your fears head on. There's no hiding behind excuses. There's no one else to blame. This is your fight. This is your journey. And while that might seem daunting, it is also incredibly empowering. You begin to understand that no matter how many times you fall, no matter how many times you want to quit, you have the ability to rise again. When you're standing in the midst of loneliness, when everything around you seems silent and you're left with nothing but your own thoughts, it can feel like you're lost. You might wonder why no one is there, why no one is helping or cheering you on. But here's the truth. This is your time. This is the chapter in your story where you will either rise to the occasion or allow the silence to swallow you whole. You have to understand that loneliness isn't a curse, it's an opportunity. An opportunity to become your own source of strength. When no one is around to validate you, when no one is there to tell you that you're doing well, you have to learn how to push forward for yourself. This chapter isn't about looking outward for support, it's about looking inward. It's about finding the power, the resilience, and the will to keep going, even when the world feels distant. This is the chapter that tests your commitment. It's easy to stay motivated when people are watching, when there are distractions to keep you going, but what happens when it's just you, alone with your thoughts and your goals? That's when the real character is built. That's when you learn who you truly are. The loneliness is forcing you to build mental toughness, to build a mindset that says, I don't need anyone else to keep going. I can do this on my own. In those moments when you feel like giving up, know that you are becoming stronger. Every moment of discomfort, every second of pain is strengthening your foundation. You are laying the groundwork for a future version of yourself that is more resilient, more focused, and more capable than ever before. Embrace the loneliness. Let it teach you. It will shape you in ways you can't yet comprehend. But in the end, you'll be thankful for it. In the heart of loneliness, you're faced with the harsh reality that there's no one to save you but yourself. It's in these moments when the crowd disappears and you're left with nothing but your own thoughts that you realize the truth. No one is coming to lift you up, to tell you that everything will be okay, or to give you a hand to hold. The weight of your struggles, the intensity of your pain, and the overwhelming silence all fall on your shoulders. But guess what? This is exactly where you need to be. When you accept that no one else will come to your rescue, you take back control. You stop waiting for external forces to change your circumstances and realize that you are the force that will shape your future. This is your fight, your battle. The world won't stop spinning just because you're struggling. And no one will hit pause for you. But in that, there's freedom. You no longer have to depend on anyone else's validation, approval, or help. The strength you need, the determination to continue, lies inside you. The truth is, there's power in doing it alone. In a world where so many seek validation from others, you learn that your worth isn't tied to the applause or recognition of the crowd. Your worth comes from the fact that you refuse to quit, even when you're the only one cheering for yourself. You keep going when it would be easier to stop. You keep pushing, even when every fiber of your being screams for rest. This chapter isn't about the easy road, it's about strength, it's about resilience. And when you realize that no one is coming to save you, you unlock the incredible power of knowing you have everything within you to succeed. It's all up to you. In the midst of loneliness, when the world seems quiet and your struggles feel invisible, you might wonder if it's all worth it. It's during these times that you'll feel the weight of every challenge, every setback, every doubt you've ever had. But here's the thing, that pain is not your enemy. It's your greatest ally. The pain you feel in isolation is not meant to break you. It's meant to strengthen you. It's meant to build you up in ways comfort and ease never could. Every drop of sweat, every long hour of work with no immediate reward is shaping your future. Every moment of discomfort is testing your resolve, pushing you to dig deeper, to reach farther than you ever thought you could. The more you endure, the more capable you become. Pain and struggle are the raw materials from which your inner strength is forged. You see, it's easy to want to avoid pain, to look for ways out, to search for relief. But the truth is that the only way to truly grow is through the fire. The pain will always be there in some form. But you get to decide whether it destroys you or empowers you. When you decide to use that pain as fuel, when you accept it as part of your journey, you become unstoppable. The discomfort that once seemed unbearable becomes a testament to your perseverance. This is where mental toughness is born. When the loneliness gets heavy, when the world seems indifferent, and there's no one there to tell you that you're doing a good job, you have to remember this. Your worth is not measured by the applause of others. Your worth is measured by your ability to keep going even when no one is watching. Pain doesn't defeat you unless you let it, so embrace it. It's the very thing that's shaping you into the person you need to become. The moment you enter the lonely chapter, the world seems to fall silent. It's as if everything fades to black and you're left standing in the middle of a void, fighting battles that no one else can see. The isolation feels deafening, and the weight of your struggles is magnified. You might ask yourself, why me? Why this? Why now? But in truth, this moment is not meant to defeat you. It's meant to transform you. This chapter is where you go from being just another person who faces hardship to someone who learns to rise time and time again, even when it feels like no one is there to see it. You see, this chapter will change you, but how it changes you is entirely up to you. The loneliness, the isolation, the struggle, these are not signs of weakness. There's a testing grounds for your resilience, your strength, and your mental toughness. When you have no one else to lean on, you realize that you are the source of your own strength. You are the one who has to decide to keep moving, to keep fighting, even when it feels like the road is endless. It's easy to look at the loneliness and feel discouraged. It's easy to want to quit, to retreat back to comfort. But the truth is, the real power, the real strength lies in your ability to push forward when no one is watching. When the applause fades and all you have is the will to keep going, that's when the magic happens. The discomfort you feel in this moment is the very thing that's forging a stronger version of you. Every doubt, every struggle, every painful moment is an opportunity to build the mental fortitude that will carry you through the rest of your life. The loneliness doesn't make you weak. It makes you stronger. It forces you to dig deeper and discover reserves of strength you didn't know you had. It teaches you how to keep going when it feels impossible, how to stay disciplined when the distractions disappear. And when you come out the other side of this chapter, you'll be unrecognizable. You will have developed a mindset that cannot be shaken. You will have learned that true strength is not about the external world. It's about your ability to control your own thoughts, your own actions, and your own determination. In the lonely chapter, you will face yourself in ways you never have before. But when you come out of it, you'll be tougher, more focused, and more resilient than ever before. This chapter is just the beginning of the person you are becoming. Embrace the loneliness. It is, after all, the forge that will shape you into something far greater than you ever imagined. As we come to the close of this chapter, I want to leave you with one final thought. You've walked through the lonely chapter. It wasn't easy. There were moments of doubt, moments of pain, and times when it felt like the world had forgotten about you. But here's the truth. You've made it. You've made it through the silence, the isolation, and the struggle. And that, my friends, is not something to take lightly. In those dark moments, you might have questioned your strength, wondered if you were enough, or if you'd ever see the other side of it. But the fact that you're still here proves something profound. You are stronger than you think. The loneliness didn't break you. It shaped you. It built you in ways you could never have imagined. As you leave this chapter behind, remember that the lessons you've learned here are the foundation for everything that comes next. You now know that you can stand on your own 2 feet, that you have the power to push forward even when the world seems silent. You've learned to dig deep, to find strength in the places where you once thought there was none. And that strength, that resilience will carry you through every challenge ahead. You might face another lonely chapter. You might feel isolated again, but now you know what it takes to get through it. You know that you have the courage to keep moving, to keep fighting. The loneliness will not defeat you. It will only make you more unstoppable. So as you step forward, remember this. You are not defined by your struggles. You are defined by how you rise from them. And today you've proven that you can rise. Keep that in mind every time you face the unknown. You are capable, you are strong, and you are never truly alone because the power you need is already inside you. Now go out there and show the world exactly what you're made of. The best is yet to come. Thank you.